You know what I mean? Do you think as a man or a woman, they're justified if they want to see that spouse's phone, that spouse like, no, and they're like, no, give it here. You know what I mean? Do you think that's how you handle it? Or do you think you're like, okay, cool. Don't let me see it. You know what I mean? Like, how do you think the proper way to deal with a person who's hiding our phone and you know what I mean, is being seems to be sneaky or hiding something? Like, should we be like his wife and go like, you're gonna give me this phone? You know what I mean? Or should we be like, can I see your phone? And be more like, calm about it. You know what I mean? Do you think we should go
That
into fight
again,
to see in the phone, or should we just be like, nah,
well,
I'm sorry?
for one, I really want to emphasize on one thing that I just forgot to say a second ago.
Uh-huh.
And this is something somebody, like, I guess, said to me a long time ago. And I think
Mhm,
as I got older and matured a little bit more, I really understood it. And that's
mhm,
like, give people a reason not to trust you. You know what I mean? Like,
mhm,
don't react on your distrust without reason. You know what I mean? Like at that point
mhm.
you have the trust issues and you're the problem.
I see.
Like some people I think just jump to the distrusting somebody, like,
Yeah.
oh, they're on their phone, they're laughing. Okay, and then they like just let that take them mentally to a place where they can't trust them or certain things that maybe is not a valid reason if they step back and looked at the whole picture. It's like, wow, they didn't really give me a reason not to trust them.
I see what you're
I'm
saying.
I'm
Yeah.
nervous to trust them. I'm scared to trust them or whatever it is, but like I haven't really gotten a reason. So I
Mhm.
think I think if people do get that reason, the dangerous part about it is if you do the nice approach and you're like, hey, like, can I see your phone? Like you know what I mean? I want to see it. Then that's when people start deleting stuff, right? And that's when
Mhm.
people can start hiding stuff, and then you'll never get that truth anyway.
Mhm.
But at that time, like if you feel like if you're with somebody like that, then it's just time to leave. Like
Yeah.
I think the real way to fix that type of issue, it has to be something on both people's, like some compromise on both people's part, like anything in a relationship. Like if you feel that trust, that distrust, and you know you have a reason for it,
Mhm.
then if you ask to see their phone and you know you're validated in asking that, then I think the other person has to compromise and either come clean with you and be
Mhm.
like, I don't want you to see it and this is why or whatever. But basically what I'm saying is the other person then has to respect like um your trust. They have to
Okay.
respect your trust and be like,
Okay.
I want to keep your trust. So I'm gonna prove to you that nothing's wrong. You
I
know what I
see.
mean?
I see. I understand.
And this way it's not a whole big fight about it. It's like,
Mhm.
but it's different if the person doesn't respect your trust. At that point you need to just leave
Yeah.
because they're going to hide it from you, they're going to whatever, and you don't want to be in a situation where you're just constantly trying to catch your partner because you know they're doing you wrong. It's
Yeah.
like if you know that in your gut, in your heart, then you take that, like, you know
Mhm. In my view, I feel like God reveals all. You know what I'm saying? I think if you went to with a person and you have pure intentions with that person, and you're treating that person right, you're not, lying or cheating or whatever. I think if you make prayer, you know what I mean, with a pure heart, that God revealed to you if that person's cheating or not. I think that that will happen. You know what I mean? No matter how much the person wants to hide it. Um, but I'm thinking about, like, it's kind of funny if you think about it, because nowadays everyone is getting in trouble behind phones. You know what I mean? Back in the old days, you had to go find your man's pen pal letters. You know what I mean? A woman is like snooping around her man's luggage. She's like looking at his ottoman. She's like, I found those letters you wrote to that lady. You know what I mean? Or I found those letters the lady wrote to you. But now it's like everything is digital. And it's like, oh, I'll just go on my phone, type something, delete it. Back in the old days, you had to get the pen and the pad. And you had to get the little feather pen. You had to, you know what I mean? You had to do all that and just kind of like write your note. You know what I mean? It's just funny how times change. You know what I mean? Like, people don't even write anymore, pretty much.
yeah,
You
like
know?
they're not teaching the kids cursive anymore,
Nope.
so that's going to be like some hidden lost art, by the time the next generation or whatever, people not going to be like, I don't know what that says, I can't read that, and it's literally English still. And even like, yeah, I seen some like study where it's like we have more access to our like partners in like a couple years than some people had their entire lifetime with their
Mhm.
partners
Mhm.
because they were working, you know what I mean? And the
Mhm.
phones were the way they were. They had public pay phones or whatever. So like they would go a lot of the day not seeing their partner and then maybe
Wow.
get a little bit of time because they get home, they got to rest, they got to go catch a train or ride their horse to their job or whatever it is, you know? And it's like they didn't have like so much access to like
Yeah.
now any given moment, no matter what you're doing, you can be summoned via phone.
Yeah.
And it's like it's wild. And I really do think society needs like a little bit of a reset, a little bit of a break. Because I mean, we're at a point now where we we wear cameras on our face. We wear cameras on our face. We have computers on our wrists. We have computers on our phones. We look at the computers, the TVs, the computer screens. And yeah, and I don't want to get like too controversial or whatever, but I feel like I was thinking about that a little bit today. Like we're slaves to technology now. You know
Oh
what I mean?
no.
Like
Yeah.
the technology is the chains now because
Yeah.
they're just all around us, all on us, and they're kind of incorporated more and more into our lives, where that
Mhm.
becomes like the thing. And really, ads in general. I'm annoyed with ads. I'm sick of ads.
Yes.
I'm
I
sick
hate
of
it.
everything being polluted with ads
Yes.
now, and I hate
Yes.
that this is just what we're gonna be doing going forward.
I know. And for me, it's like corporations have completely hijacked our sovereignty as, you know, as people, as Americans, as civilians across the globe, particularly in Western societies. Like you said, the ads is disgusting. It's like times I'm trying to figure out, okay, I don't feel like cooking tonight. I want something for dinner. And I'll go Google, maybe some wings or something. I'm looking at Wingstop, maybe. Next thing I know, I'm on YouTube. Hey, we got Wingstop. And it's like, really? That infuriates me. I may sound a little anal for saying that, but it's like it's so upsetting. You know what I mean? Like you said, they're tracking us through the ads, tracking us through the phones, and we are all enslaved, from technology. Now, you mentioned that nowadays we have easy access to our partners, our spouses. Do you think that has helped the modern relationship, or has it harmed the modern relationships?
I think I think it has made them harder,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I think in some ways maybe better too. Like I
Hmm.
think nowadays is like it's harder, I think, to maintain a relationship because people have such access and they expect that level of access, right? Like
Hmm.
nowadays is at a point where I feel like anybody in a relationship in today's time
Hmm.
who hasn't been in that relationship for like the past 40 years, I guess, or whatever,
Hmm.
could agree that like your partner pretty much expects to reach you whenever, most of
Yeah.
the time,
Yeah.
and if you don't answer the phone, it's, oh, what are you doing? What's going on? Why can't you talk? So
Hmm.
it's not only do they have that access, but they expect that access. So I think it makes it harder because I feel like you have to be present even more now, like you don't have that like peace of mind that like, okay, I'm here, like whatever else is going on is not my concern because I can't be reached,
I see.
to be disturbed. But at the same time, I think it's made it better because it kind of expedites aspects like toxic people. Like I would imagine it would have been harder to pinpoint toxic people, and it would take longer when you have less access to them, where you
Mhm.
just see them less, you talk to them less, you're not able to fill them out, you're not able to have video calls with them, and you know what I mean, you're not able to gauge them as much. You just go to work, for a long time, you go to work and you guys barely see each other, they go to work, and then or whatever, and you're, taking care of your family, whatever, and like maybe it takes a long time before you actually get time to sit with them and have certain conversations that maybe will happen way faster with technology now.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. You're right. It does kind of hasten. the ability to weed and seed out, like you said, the toxic people, because you
Yeah.
do have communication, more effective communication, more consistent communication. So, um, yeah, the person can kind of expose themselves, but at the same time, it's easier to text something, hey, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
versus actually engaging with the person too.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of the downfall of it, of technology. You know what I mean? Because you can just be, if you texting somebody and then, or even video call them for 5 minutes. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. And then that person behaves good, for a couple of minutes. All of a sudden, you come home one day and you see something in the bedroom you don't want to see. You know what I mean? Because you thought you know this person, but you didn't. Um, no, I guess that's such is life, right? There are pros and cons to everything. You know what I'm saying? But people are definitely too, in my opinion, addicted to technology. I do like the fact that technology can unite the masses. We can talk to somebody from any country, any land, any nation. We can, video chat with them or whatever, communicate with them, within milliseconds. But is it really uniting the people? Is it really, is technology dumbing down humanity? Or is it making us more intelligent? What do you think?
It's not really. I don't think it's uniting us because we still have to go through it to unite each other.
Okay.
We have
Okay.
it's just a middleman.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think his whole point is to be like as invisible as possible and
Mm.
to be as like undetectable as possible. And we think like, oh, well, we're just having this access to our family or our friends or people in other countries, and we're not realizing that the same thing that we're using to have that connection is also doing things to hurt society.
Mm.
And I think a
Mm.
lot of the time we're not aware of that. And like I said, it's really just a middleman, but
Mhm.
it's a middleman that's kind of, I think, low key plotting our demise, or might be our demise in the end. Like technology in general and just the power that comes from it.
Mm. Kind of like Terminator,
Yeah.
Judgment Day,
Yeah.
Rise
Because
Against
like
of the Machines.
because I feel like machines and technology is just gonna eventually want to learn everything and want to erase certain problems, and they might just view us as that problem.
Ah.
Because machines ultimately, I feel like, is gonna think is smarter than us. I don't think machines really understand that like we give them their intelligence.
I mean, yeah, that kind of plays into that situation I was reading the other day, on X, where the Tesla got out of control, and the guy claims that he had it in, what is it, self was it self driving mode or something, and it sped, lost control, and ran into a home with an elderly grandmother, and she lost her life, unfortunately. May she rest in peace. Because of a Tesla. And I'm thinking to myself, it's a car. It's not rocket science to drive a car. But why would you put in self-driving mode? I feel like you're just dumbing down your own intellect. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I think that we keep getting all these signs, like even like Wally.
Mhm.
Like
Oh
how
yeah.
like it can we can rely on technology too much. And
Hmm.
I think that that's really what our downfall is going to be. It's
Hmm.
not going to be only the technology's fault. I think
Hmm.
it's also the fault of the people who overly rely on said technology.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
the people who want to be the first adopters for stuff like this. Like autonomous vehicles, I understand that it could be a dream. Um, you get into a taxi, there's no one there to worry about. There's no one there to talk to or bother you. You get to go about your day, have a little bit of privacy, even though you're taking a taxi,
Hmm.
and you get to have like this streamlined experience. And I feel like the more autonomous cars on the road, the smoother the whole thing works, because
Mhm.
ideally they would all be communicating with each other, and you can eliminate even like traffic and a lot of benefits to the concept, I think, of like self-driving cars.
Mhm.
I just don't think that we're at that point yet, and I don't think that we need to, like, maybe it's being used unnecessarily, but the issue is also is, you know they're electric cars and technology has errors. Like
Mhm.
I feel like there's no real way to stop that from happening.
Mhm.
Like Tesla said that it was a high speed crash,
Mhm.
so that it was no way that it was in like a self driving mode. Like it like in self driving mode, they're saying that like um it would go a certain like speed through residential areas and whatnot, and that like they also said, I think they have like the acceleration report or something that
Mhm.
says that like basically his foot was on the gas because they keep all this data, I guess, is what I
Okay.
read.
Yeah, they do keep a lot of data in Tesla. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I feel like we're taking out the possibility that technology just does what it does sometimes, which is malfunctions.
Exactly.
And
Mhm.
unfortunately, the same thing with like the Cybertruck. It had a lot of issues where like
Mhm.
sometimes the gas pedal would get lodged underneath the like a part of the car where
Mhm.
people's gas pedals
Mhm.
would get stuck and
Mhm.
go,
Mhm.
and stuff like that, where it's like I think that some of this is just really insane.
Mhm.
um they have Tesla apparently has the highest overall incident rate.
Mhm. They really do. Yep.
um
Mhm.
it says 23.54 and 36.94 accidents slash incidents per 1,000 drivers, the highest rate of
Mhm.
any motive
Mhm.
brand
Yep.
evaluated.
Yep. Yep.
um, Highest fatal accident rate.
Yep.
And it says that it's also model specific. The
Mhm.
Tesla Y model has the highest fatal rate.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I mean, but I think they're all sound pretty dangerous.
Mhm.
I love the concept of automatic cars saving the earth, um, and just not spending money on gas. I think, without getting too political, like I think that it could definitely influence wars and influence certain things in
Yeah.
the world. So what if we just cut out the need for it as much as we could, and
Mhm.
maybe have some other type of fuel? Maybe we would, you know what I mean? It might bring the society a little bit more peace. So I do love the concept of like these electric cars in a lot of ways. I'm just not. I'm scared personally.
Yeah, me too. I sometimes I read a lot about Tesla. I was thinking at one point to get a Tesla, and I was like, no, no, no. Um, Firstly, like you said, because of the how unsafe they tend to be, very unsafe cars. I I'm gonna differ with you. I'm gonna rebut, you know what I mean? What you said, but I can't agree with you on the electric cars. I, I think that electric cars should not be used because I think it allows entities too much control over the driver. Again, they can monitor, essentially Tesla is a computer on wheels. Everything, when you open your door, when you start your car, what mode it was in, if you had your AC on, your heat on, everything you do in a Tesla is recorded. I don't agree with that. Particularly when you spend 70,000, 80,000, however much you spend for a Tesla, for them to keep tabs on you. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you to keep tabs on me. You know what I mean? Um, Also, because it's an electric vehicle, or any electric vehicle for that matter, a person could take EMPs and shoot it at the car and stop your car. Now, granted, at this stage, only the police will have that capability, but we know Nothing is withheld from criminals. You know what I mean? So you could be driving somewhere with your electric vehicle in a community. It could be a dangerous community, or it could be dangerous, not very dangerous, whatever the situation may be. And a criminal could just take his EMP, shoot, point at your car, stop your car, rob you, rob a person, and do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that capability. I think gas allows us more freedom, as drivers, and also even with the green movement, it's an aspect of it that's also harms the planet we don't see. The cobalt, and lithium, and all the things, the materials that are needed to run, you know, um, solar panels and electric vehicles and computers are mined out of Africa. And the thing is that these people are mining these minerals in the most inhumane conditions, and they're using children to do it. And to make it worse, they're not paid a fair share or fair value for the minerals that they're getting. So that has a true human effect as well, that's detrimental to a group of people that I don't agree with. I think we can harvest oil in a civilized manner that doesn't bring war. I think our governments choose not to, because no matter how civilized we think we are, I think we are very primitive. It's like back in the old days, in the kingdom days. The king, he wanted this turf. He's over here. He's essentially a gangbanger, right? He's over here in this turf. He's like, you know what? I want what they have. I want the resources they got. Let me go over here with my gang and take it from them. That's primitive, and we still living in a primitive way. We dress it up nowadays and call it war, or say we human, what's it, human, the cost of human life, or whatever they call it. It's the same thing. It's just primitive. I think man needs to move past taking other people's resources, and get along in peace. It's enough for all of us. We don't have to go killing people. We don't have to go to the Middle East taking their oil. We could do things in a civilized manner. That's how I see it. But
Okay.
essentially, the U.S. is the biggest gang on the block. You know what I'm saying? We like, oh, yo, we got the manpower, we got the missiles, we gonna go take that shit. That's not cool.
I I I'm gonna disagree with you disagreeing with me,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go and say that, to be honest, I'm in like a really rare camp where I do appreciate my privacy,
Okay.
um and everything, but also like I don't really see the problem with, honestly, like this is gonna sound probably pretty bad, but I don't really see the problem with some of these like companies having access to certain, I would feel like, useless information. Like I think sometimes people want to protect their privacy, when I feel like I feel like there has to be personally like a balance. I don't know if I'm picking the right words to say this, but there, like, for me, I like a balance where, you know how like Google will say like, okay, your car's parked here, and some people might not like that because it's like, that's like a privacy thing, right? You don't need them knowing that, especially with like a digital, like you said, an electric car,
Hmm.
something like that, where I'm a little bit more like, I'm kind of okay with that,
Hmm.
because I think technology needs to have a certain level of access to be as beneficial.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I think, I don't know, like even like my phone, it'll like keep track of like when I go to sleep. Like it'll try to it'll charge the battery to a certain point, but in order to reserve the battery, it'll like will charge you the rest closer to when you normally wake up.
Yeah.
That's information that's very private, right? Your
Yeah.
phone's still keeping track of when you're waking up, when you're going to sleep every night. And that's maybe something people would be like, no, I don't want. But me personally, I think that technology needs that in order to function in a way that's actually going to be beneficial and convenient for your life. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't be completely comfortable living in a home that's like digital only everything. Like,
Okay.
they have these smart homes where like everything, every lock is, controlled with electronics, and it's like if that malfunctions, you can't get into your house, can't get
Yeah.
out of your house, whatever.
Exactly. Mhm.
I'm not really fully comfortable with that,
Mhm.
but I would want to live in a future where I could be comfortable enough to have technology and be trusted enough in technology. And I think it needs to get to that. We need to help it get to that point. We
Mm.
need to like let it have a little bit of freedom into our lives, even though that sounds completely wrong. But I think in
Yeah.
some ways, in order for it to get better, it has to have certain data. Like,
Yeah.
and then the EMT thing, I mean EMP thing. The EMP thing I completely get, but at the same time, like I feel like, if it was not a electric car, then people could just crush your windows. Or like I just found out, because people have been doing these E40 memes where he said they'll blip you while you're in your car. You might get glass in your face.
Oh wow.
And I didn't know what that meant, but it's when they literally break people's windows with the window breaker, and then they go into their car and they take stuff from it. But he
Wow.
was saying that like wherever, like his part of town, wherever he
Mhm.
was talking about, like they're doing that while people are in it. Normally it's just something people do where they're robbing the place overnight or whatever. But it's like he's like they're out here really blipping people's cars while people are in it. Like, and it's at that point, there ain't nothing you can do. Glass breakers are meant to break glass. It takes a second to break a glass, and then you
Yeah,
got
that's
access to
true.
that person.
That's true.
Not only that, but I mean, RIP, this woman,
Mhm.
um, Avilia, Avila,
Mhm.
I believe her name is. I'm pronouncing
Mhm.
that wrong, probably. But this poor woman was just standing, and just literally it says standing in her front room.
Yes.
Like
Yes. Yeah.
that. So it's like
Yeah.
I feel like we're at a place where things are just unpredictable. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's really I think that we just, keep our faith, keep our head up, and just and pray for the best and do our best, but it's, like nothing's promised regardless.
That is very true. That is very true. Um. Yeah. I mean, it's to the point now though. You go to the store, you give somebody cash. It has happened to me. I don't know how many times. And I give them the change. I give them a bill, then I give them the change as a difference. And they're like, oh my God, you gave me the change after the fact. I didn't put it in the cash register. They pull up their phone, they're like, and I'm like, you know what I mean? I think we need to stop being so dependent on technology because essentially it dumbs us down. And if they could dumb us down, then they could take our humanity from us. And that's what I want to fight against. But I've had a great time talking to you. I hope to have you back again. Any closing things you want to say, like your socials, or anything you want to tell the people?
Yeah, I just want to say go follow me on Instagram at 888 bullboy. And yeah, it's been great talking to you. I'm looking forward to doing this again sometime.
Likewise, thank you so much. And again, I'm Shakira Z Chi. You can reach me at shakirazchi.com, Shakira Z Chi on Facebook. I am Shakira Niji on X. And also, I am Shakira1 on Instagram. I have a book, Collective Reflective Power and Memoirs, available for sale on Amazon or my website. I'm available for speaking engagements. Also, I'm working on a new book. It's gonna be dope. And I hope you guys love it. And I'll keep you guys posted when it's ready for sale. Yeah. God always, peace always. God take care. Peace.